art includes creation of images or objects in field painting, sculpture, printmaking, photography, and other visual media. On the Art Express, it is our primary assignment to project artists who, through their works, project and paint the world in many bright colors. My name is Tolokwe Lamidi, and this is the Art Express. Today on Gallery, Life in My City Art Festival aims at discovering creative talents of youths and encouraging a sustainable livelihood through an art career. Now, this initiative is arguably one of the largest and the most consistent art events here in Nigeria. It continues to discover and expose young artists and launching them into the mainstream. Let's take a look.
According to the title given to us, visit. So if you need to visit, you have to go back home. You have to embrace what we have. You have to embrace our culture. You have to embrace the good culture that enhances the good attitude and behavior towards civilization. And again, we have to go back to the good culture that reminds us our historical background of our cultural and creative art. I want to be unique and I want to be different out of interest. And what did I need to do? Let me do something like modern and old together. You can see butterfly used to depict the human being, which has never happened in the industry. So I'm trying to modernize. So to modernize the culture as well.
The painting was inspired by a real-life event. That was the incident that happened before my grandpa actually died. Out of his 6 children, the last one was the only person who was at home. So he called out to her and was like, "Get me a broom." And she went and returned with just a broomstick. He said, "Get me a broom again." She still went and returned with a broomstick. So finally she went and returned with the bunch. Then he said, "Break it." Then as she was trying to break it and she said, "It's impossible to break," the man now said, "Repeat it when your siblings come." Then he died. So the painting is actually talking about the power and the strength in unison. The broom represents each and every one of us. Either you're a Nigerian, an American, wherever you are in the world. That's why we have different flags depicting the whole world in general. That when we stand together and not removing ourselves or separating ourselves in groups, when we stand together, it is strong. We stand strong together, and we cannot be easily broken by any force at all. That is why, as we see here, there are some entities below this painting here, and we can see them dressed in their own native attire. They might look good to themselves, but if we look at them, they have all been broken one by one. So showing that there is strength in standing together.
And the title of this piece is Self. So Self depicts the world of man, the journey, because the 3 pieces depicts the faces of man, childhood, adult, youthful when you're a youth and when you're an adult. So we all desire to fly, we all desire to soar high, and we forget the fact that before we can fly, before we can get to reach certain things that we can do, we need our wings. Of course, it's impossible for a bird to fly without wings, and which depicts that, of course, we can have gifts as man, but we forgot that the fact that we need inspiration, we need something to gear it up for us to fly.
My work is pyrography. I create my work out of fire. I use fire to burn on wood, and then I scrape with razor blade. Now the work is telling us to actually fix it. So what exactly are we fixing? It's from the Nigerian context. Now the country is in a state that we have to actually come together to readjust and to fix the country because a lot has gone wrong. Now, my work was inspired by those that were killed and murdered at the Lekki toll gate, which is, you have them all behind here. This is where they are positioned before they were killed actually. Now, these are protesters that innocently out from their homes came out with one problem or the other, believing that after this incident, it is going to be solved and the country will actually get to a better. And at the end of the day, some of them were murdered and killed. Now, to show that this is Nigeria, we have the two horses and by the side, which is the symbol of the coat of arms, which the eagle is no longer there. Now, actually, life in my city have greatly helped me because it gave me an opportunity for me to express myself as an artist, not just expressing myself in joy or whichever way my emotions are. At this particular time, I feel saddened how my country or the state of my country is, and I have to express it in my work.
Well, we've seen a lot of creative arts by very young people, and most impressive, the depth of their thoughts, and all about Nigeria and the state of Nigeria. How can we fix this country? And you listen to them explaining their paintings, you marvel. You marvel. And it draws pity for them. I feel very sorry that these youths cannot get what we should offer them. More people should get to see the thoughts, the depth of thought of our young ones. Might not be in speech, but in paintings, because these are very touching and very deep in its impact.
I explore imagining and realism, and this painting is I Am the Divine Feminism. It's talking about my story, myself. So the competition actually lets me to express myself on canvas. I was thinking, what should I bring into this competition? So I just have to bring the originality of myself, which means I gave birth last year, so I went through a lot during the process of pregnancy, but I was feeling bad being pregnant because I was not married then. But I found out that my greatest disappointment, I was thinking, was my greatest blessing. So that's why you see the light. There's a light in the end of the tunnel. So it's exciting, and I'm happy I experience it. So that's why I say it's a divine feminism, showing me my feminist power, showing me how strong I am and how strong I can push. And this painting is my masterpiece, honestly, because it's my best. Like, I put all my heart into it, trying to express my inner pain and my inner happiness. This painting is my blessing.
It's grown. There are well over 500 now. Last year is about 300 something. means that people are listening and artists are coming out. And I believe it will continue to grow. Because it is in hard times, people's talents flower. You see, if life was easy, you couldn't have gotten this number of children. They may be pursuing other courses which is not really in line of their real talent.
I was once a participant in this stage of this exhibition. So Life in My City is all about creating awareness for artists of the environment. So you pick artists, you select selected artworks are depicting life of their city in their own environment. So the reason why Life in My City has been growing fast because the artists are from the environment and they talk about their environment, and that's why Life in My City has been there for over 17 years. During our days when we were competing, it was not this hard, but now we can see that people have grown with versatile styles. The medium, the expression are growing every day. So I think it's a big one for Life in My City.
The competition is meant for artists who are less than 35 years of age, and it doesn't really matter whether you are an academic artist or you are somebody who is self-taught, whatsoever. We open it up, to any artist who is less than 35 years. And the concept is to be able to engage our youth and create opportunity for them to thrive in their profession. Beyond the competition, we also have some other activities. We do workshops for school children, workshop for physically challenged children, and so on. It's been interesting, though it's been tough talking about funding, but we thank God that we have a little funding from some sponsors, which has given the opportunity to be able to give them. Because one of the major areas is to invite the top 100 artists from all over the country to Enugu annually. And that is at our own expense. You pay their transport, you keep them in hotel, you pay them feeding, and then we are sure that 25 of them will be going on with a special prize after the competition.
Also on gallery, Terra Firma, meaning solid ground, chronicles the tales and gains from the pandemic, an exhibition of recent paintings by Dr. Bolaji Ogunwo at the National Museum, Oniko, Lagos. Let's go there.
Bolaji Ogunwo is a prolific artist. I do not want to restrict him to painting. It is better for me to use an artist because tomorrow you can still find him in another aspect of art. But for today, Bolaji Ogunwo is a very, very prolific artist, and you can see from the work on display, you can see the dexterity of his work, his color juxtaposition, and his theme. You will see the masterly way that he has used his color, and the work speaks for itself.
I know Bolaji for about 3 years, and I've followed the development of his work in the last, in those years, and I've seen like what he's doing here is very different from what he's been doing before. He surprised me when I came in just now. He was like, "Who's this?" And I was like, for a minute, I didn't know what was going on there until I used my camera on my phone and I realized that it was my portrait he was trying to do, and I think it's a brilliant work. I was surprised, and I'm like, wow, it's ahead, of the peers and what we're doing. Maybe use pixels to bring out paintings like this is fantastic.
I've known Bolaji for a long time, and I know that the technique that he uses is impasto. So what we have on display here today is a new way of depicting objects and that has researched over the years. So I find this really very exciting. The fact that he's bringing out positive things from a very horrible experience that overtook the world during the COVID pandemic. And so this is brought a lot of light to the topic, and we're very excited about that. But beyond the paintings here, I will say a bit about him as an artist. This is a young artist who joined the staff of the University of Lagos in 2008, and for many years he single-handedly handled the painting section, and has mentored a large number of students of the Department of Creative Arts, and we are so proud of him. So here you can see a lot of the students here, and also staff of the department who are here to celebrate one of our own, and we're very proud of him.
He's somebody worthy of emulation. He's an erudite intellectual, and this is an attribute he conveys into his work most of the time. A very dedicated studio artist and very approachable. His work, exhibits a very, very unusual, elastic range of content and philosophy. And I think with the time he spent in practice, he has found his space, his typical space, where he works with heavy pigmentation.
The works are very refreshing. They are very rich in colors, rich in pigments, and the themes are also interesting. But the focal point of his work is in the use of colors, because they are very impressive expressionistic works. And you see, to be able to use colors with these layers requires certain techniques, because if you miss it, that will be the end.
I've looked around and I've been able to discover that there are gains we made from the pandemic. How to do things faster, how to do things better, and that is what you see all around in this 20 paintings that are produced. And I produce these paintings in pixels. Clarity is in pixels. 10 megapixels, 20 is clearer, 30 is more clearer, and so on and so forth. So when you look at these paintings, you will see at a glance at this painting, you may not be able to make a meaning out of them. But by the time you look at it, for example, from your camera, or you begin to pay attention to it, and you begin to see more. And from here I'm saying, post-COVID, the more we look, the more we see. Before is the more we look, the less we see. That we can see more. And all we need to do to succeed
as mankind is right around us. We just need to look more and to discover them and begin to leverage them.
The hospitality industry can be split into 4 sessions: food and beverages, travel and tourism, lodging and recreation. It can include hotels, restaurants, events, entertainment, cruises, and more. Now, art is a way to connect with the larger environment. When well executed, hospitality and art walk hand in hand, now both offering an experience and a sense of escape. Enjoy this.
You know, so far, what I've seen over the 2 days, I would say at least it's a 9 over 10. It's beginning to explain a little bit more about the hospitality industry, who it is, what it needs, and how to get to where we want to get to. So I look at that from a global perspective and a national perspective. From a global perspective, I mean, hospitality is the #1 industry in the world. It employs 330 million people, produces 10.5% of the GDP. In Nigeria, it's still trying to evolve, right? There's a lot of work to do. It's only 3% of the GDP. It doesn't employ that many people. Nigeria needs hospitality and needs this industry to thrive, and I think it will thrive. So it's work in progress, but we're getting there. The hospitality and arts, both hospitality and arts make people happy. They spark the creative juices of people. They're related. They're brother and sister. I like to see them together. So the main issue with the hospitality industry and the arts and crafts industry is that unity that we need to bring together and provide a platform for that.
I noticed that whenever you are in your rooms, you play music so loud as if you are in a disco hall. Can you imagine? I am talking and you are using your foolish boy. Hey boy, what I am saying does not make sense, eh? No. Shut up. Get quiet. What's the meaning of this nonsense?
It's a 2-day summit that we put together we brought together key players in the hospitality industry and different industry, so we can understand the synergy between hospitality and different industries. I mean, there will be somebody that will most likely greet me at the reception, and that's customer care. So there's a synergy in every industry. So through this event, we made people understand that, look, there's a synergy between hospitality, the ecosystem, hospitality, mining, hospitality, and aviation. So hospitality is all about being hospitable. I mean, permit me for being cliche, but that is what it is. And arts and culture also, brings together people with a common goal, entertainment, and that's your hospitality. So if there's arts, there's culture. If there's arts, there's food. If there's arts and culture, there's food also. And food and beverage is also under hospitality. So that's the synergy.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, you're welcome to Hospitality Home.
A brand new world. A perfect home.
A perfect space.
The hospitality industry is interconnected. They cannot live without each other. Tourism needs accommodation to thrive. Food and beverages need accommodation to thrive. Recreation cannot work without travel and tourism. And so it's an interconnected industry, and all sectors are important for them they are interdependent on each other to be able to be fully successful. From the play, I think the first thing that we need to learn is that there is an interconnectedness. You cannot separate. We saw the play, we saw when Andy had the problem, the accommodation, when people came and they wanted food, but they had separated with the food and beverage, so they couldn't function properly. So it's interconnected, like I said before, and that we need each other in the hospitality industry. All the sectors need each other to be able to thrive.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. How may I be of service to you? We need accommodation. Oh yes, here I am. I can promise you everything you need. How many rooms, sir? Just one room. Just one room? For the two of you? No, for the 10 of us.
It's a reflection of every aspect of our lives, because we need accommodation, we need food, we need beverages, we need comfort, we need good environment, we need everything that is attached to life and living. So this is where someone like me will come into the picture. As a dramatist, as an artist, as a communicator, I feel very comfortable and at home with this whole idea. The drama is just to sort of put it in perspectives in terms of dramatization of these various ideas. It looked at the interconnectedness of every aspect of, the hospitality business. You see a family holding a meeting to discuss serious issues concerning how they need to, come together and constantly think about how they can make progress. If you think that you want to separate yourself from the other components of, the family, it's a metaphor to say that, look, the head, cannot survive without the neck. And indeed, the neck cannot also, survive without other parts of the body. So that's essentially what the drama, tried to depict in that presentation. And I think they did well.
This event is about these young entrepreneurs, business ideas, and I was asked to come and talk about the conjunction of the hospitality industry and the mining industry. And that's what I tried to espouse in the little talk I gave. Mining by nature takes place mostly in remote locations, and of course hospitality is very consequential. Things like accommodation, food and beverage, entertainment is required at these remote locations. And this is where the hospitality industry will come in, which they can bring this together. Instead of the mining company looking for individuals to provide these services, a good hospitality company will bring in the synergy and provide all this for the mining company. This is essentially what I spoke about today. And I think it's a very successful attempt on their part. It's daring and it's bold, and I congratulate them for having this two-day event.
Lovers of the arts don't only depend on classroom or instructors. They pursue answers for every demand. Their minds are always concerned with how and why. That's food for thought. My name is Tolokwe Lamidi. It's a wrap.